This is J. Krishnamurti's discussion with students in Madras, 1971.
Oh, so it's up to you. What should we talk about?
Could you talk a little bit about your experience, perhaps long ago, that led you to discover the nature of things?
Oh, I couldn't remember it.
Could you tell us about that state of innocence that you spoke about, in which person assumed a person was hurt? In that state when there is no suffering of the individual.
No, not describe it. Let's discuss it. Most people are hurt, aren't they, from childhood? By their parents, by their friends, by other boys. They get terribly hurt, don't they, from childhood? And through life we're hurt, aren't we? And that leaves scars, doesn't it? Are you aware that you have scars of hurt? Huh? You're hurt, aren't you? Of course. Don't be nervous. I mean, we're talking. And come and sit here. Come on, come on. And what do you do about them? Your collection of hurts, scars, wounds. And what do you do with them? Do about them? Keep them? Huh? Brood over them? Keep them? Is that what you do? I used to know a man, every morning he took out a piece of paper on which he had written the people he hated most. So every morning he used to take out the list of the people he hated most and read them over and spend about a quarter of an hour before he went to the office. Nice, isn't it? So you have this collection of hates, have you? Hurts. And do you keep them?
It's there.
Huh?
It's there.
It's there. What do you do about them?
Don't know what to do.
Why do you keep them? Is it because you don't know what to do about them? If you knew, would you get rid of them? So that your mind never again gets hurt. Shall we go into that? I've been hurt. One has been hurt. And what do you mean by being hurt? Either one has. You see, I do all the thinking. You just listen. You don't work with me. Why does one get hurt? Either one has an image of oneself, thinking I'm a great person, or a certain image of oneself, and that image gets hurt. Right? somebody insults, and it is that image which I have made of myself that gets hurt. That's one factor. That's one factor. The other factor is one is very sensitive. If one is sensitive, not only to music but to everything, sensitive. And when that sensitivity is shocked, there is a hurt, right? Image, sensitivity. What do you think are the factors of this hurt? Come on, sir, you must discuss, not just listen. What do you think are the factors?
Images of what should be that we have. Just images of what should be that we carry.
That's what we said. We have the images. We have our own self-projected images of ourselves, what should be, what might be, what I am, and so on. These images get hurt. So we said that's one of the factors of getting hurt, right? Other factor is that one is very sensitive, like a plant. You have seen those sensitive plants that you touch, they curl up. Well, like that. And what are the other factors? Do you think why one gets hurt?
Also from being previously hurt, you're not only sensitive, you're touching.
That is, one has walls of resistances. I have been hurt before, and I don't want to be hurt again. Therefore, I isolate myself, right? Isolating myself means building a wall around myself. And that wall gets always hurt. As long as I have a wall, I must always defend it, and therefore there is always attack. It's like the army preparing all the time. So that's another factor, which is image, sensitivity, resistance. Go on, sir.
Thought.
Thought?
You think about something and get hurt.
Wait. Is that the reason you get hurt? Thought?
Maybe identification.
Let's take that. See, we've got 3 facts now, not suppositions, but facts, which is I have an image about myself projected by myself, thinking I must be somebody, or afraid I am not somebody, identifying myself with something which is still projecting my image of myself. That image gets hurt, right? Then I'm sensitive, like a plant. I've been hurt so much I shrink in myself. That's 2. 3, we said, any kind of resistance. You understand what resistance is? Building a wall around myself to protect myself will inevitably be hurt, bring hurts. So there are 3 factors. And you suggested thought. What do you mean thought getting hurt?
Like you compare yourself.
Which is
Something happens and you say that the other person is more popular.
yes,
The other person
is more intelligent and so on. But that is still
And
in the
like you
field.
said-
That is still within the field of image. So you follow. So those are the 3 factors we have. Now
Also dependence.
what are the other factors that make us hurt? He suggested dependency. I depend on you because I can't stand alone, Or I depend on you because you give me pleasure, comfort, companionship. And when you withdraw that companionship, that pleasure, that sense of intimacy, I get hurt. Right? I get angry, I get jealous, I get in all that. So that now we've got 4 factors. Image, are you following? This is not class, you follow? Don't take notes. You won't pass any exam. Image, what is? Image, sensitivity, resistance, dependency. Right? Now, what are the other factors? That is, I am proud, or I am inferior, which is still part of the image, isn't it?
Your position.
That is still image. I think I'm a great man. You come along, tell me you're an ass, and I get hurt. It is still the image, feeling proud or inferior, comparing itself with somebody and therefore getting hurt. It's still the activity of that image which I have projected myself as being or should be or have been. So there.
I reverence somebody and he is attacked.
Yes, that's still another form of image. I respect somebody because that respecting somebody is a projection of myself. No? So that is still within the field of image making, right?
Security.
Huh?
Security.
Physical security. The physical security and psychological security. Now, I have a job, and when that job is threatened, I get hurt. Both physically, because I'm going to lose money, so I get hurt. Or my house is burned down. Or I've lost money. Right? So when security, physical security is threatened, I get hurt naturally. That's an obvious fact. Right? And also, is there, psychologically, inwardly, I want to be secure. Secure with this person, because she's my wife, my husband, my friend. I want to be safe with her or him. I feel protected there. And when that protection, that security, that assurance, that dependency is taken away, I get hurt. Right. Now we have 5. Go on, sir, discuss, explore.
When I know I am nothing, it hurts.
Come on.
When I know that I am nothing, it hurts.
When I know I am?
Nothing.
I am nothing.
Yes, that is still the image. So I don't... What are the other factors?
Ideas. Fear. Ideas.
That is still the image, isn't it?
But the image means you think of something, and ideas means which you don't achieve normally.
This is still the image process, isn't it? So the image one builds about oneself is so spreading. It not only about oneself, about others, about a person, guru of respect and so on. All this image making is part of the process of self-protection.
What about feeling when one feels of
I feel strongly for you, or strongly for this house, or strongly for a particular ideal. I get hurt the moment you question that. I want to hit you. So, these are the factors. Image making, sensitivity, resistance, the desire for security, both physical as well as psychological, and what else?
When I try to give continuity to something, when I cannot give, I get hurt.
Also,
When I try to give continuity to something, when I cannot continue it,
I see
get
you mean.
hurt.
That is, I want my relationship with you continued, and when that is broken, I get hurt. That includes security, isn't it? Feeling of certainty. I want to be quite, in my relationship with you, I want to be quite secure. And I want that relationship of security to continue. Right? So when that doesn't continue, I get hurt. Now, what are the other factors?
Struggle to be the best student in the class, and if you don't reach the
Oh, that's all. That's too silly. I mean, that's part of the image. Gonza, you have stopped, haven't you? Why do you get hurt? Do you belong to any of these categories? Image, sensitivity, what's the other? You're good at memorizing. What is it? Image, sensitivity, resistance, security. Now, what else? That all belongs to that. Image making. Dig deeper. Go on, sir. Don't work.
Identification. Identification.
Identification, we've done that. Image still. Go on, dig, sir. Dig. Don't throw out words, but dig.
Mortality, knowing you will die.
Knowing you're going to die, does that hurt you? No.
It causes fear.
Huh?
But it causes fear.
It causes fear, but it doesn't hurt you.
No.
You know, that's why we have to find out now, what do you mean by that word hurt? I feel hurt, right? What is it that is hurt? The image, the sensitivity, the dependency, the security? Is that what gets hurt? You're not thinking. Go on, sir, push.
Ego gets
Huh?
ego,
What do you mean, the ego?
the self,
The self, what does that mean?
the sense of I.
The sense of I. Isn't the sense of I the image, the sensitivity, the dependency, the security? Isn't that that is the self, isn't it? That gets hurt. Go on, some push. I'm doing all. You see.
Everything eventually ends up to the eye.
Yes, my dear, we agreed. The I is now go beyond further. What gets hurt?
The limitations or boundaries.
The limitation or the boundary, having no space. You follow? Shall I go into want to go into all this?
Yes.
Having no space. I live in a small house. Crowded, noisy. Having no space outwardly, because I live in a 10-floor flat and I have one room. No garden, nothing, shouting all round me. noise, radio, television, endlessly. I have very little space outwardly. You know, they've been making experiments of putting thousands of rats, mice, in a very, very small space. And mice and rats are very orderly people. They like, everything to be in order. When they are so crowded, they lose all sense of responsibility and order. They kill each other. They destroy their young. Their husband kills the wife and the children. They completely get lost, disoriented. And when you have no outer space, one becomes violent, like in cities. When there is no room, you're bound to explode. Now, also inside oneself, there is very little space. Have you noticed it? Huh? What do I mean by it? What do I mean by it? Sir, the outward space I explained. When I have to live in a small room all my life, I get terribly irritated, don't I? Don't you? The noise, the squalor, the endless gramophones, and you know what happens in a small room with a small family shouting, quarreling, and as there is no space, you're bound to explode, get angry, violent, right? So the more space one has outwardly, probably less violence. You understand? Less sense of restriction outwardly. Now, don't you feel the same inwardly? Very restricted, very conditioned, very small, confined in a little space. You may imagine you have a big space, but actually there is little space. Haven't you noticed all? Go on, sir, go on, dig. Now imagine that noise going on all day in a small house, or the aeroplanes going over, jets going over the house every 2 minutes. You know what will happen? So what? Don't you notice in yourself that there is a very little space in yourself, not outwardly. We see what inwardly have got space, where you can move, where you can be free.
But how can one go beyond?
Wait. First, find out if you have space or not. You know what I mean by space? An animal tied to a post, it has space according to in the ratio of the rope, right? The rope can be very long or very short, but it can only move within the limits of that rope, right? Right, you see that? Huh? Have you got a post to which you are tied? You understand what I'm talking about? I believe in socialism. I'm tied there. And the radius, the length of the rope is socialism. I can only move within that area. Or I'm a communist. Or I'm a capitalist. Or I'm a Catholic, Hindu, Buddhist. You follow? As long as I have a post around which I revolve, there's a very little space. Right? Have you? Have you inside you a post, a belief, an explanation, a formula to which you are tied? And therefore you can't move very far. Have you got them?
Formulas and so on may not need to tie one by one. Wishes and dependence and wishes and
Yes,
dependence and so
yes,
on.
that's what I'm asking you. Have you? I wish I could be somebody. I wish I were rich. I wish I were beautiful. You are tied, aren't you? Therefore, you have very little space. Right? As you have very little space if you live in a small flat with a lot of noise, overcrowded, overpopulated, then there is a kind of violence comes into being, doesn't it? Don't you know this? Go down to see any big town, Bombay or any of the crowded places, and you'll see what horror is going on, right? Now in the same way, inside you, if you're tied to a post of belief, of fear, of desiring, pursuing pleasure, saying nationalism is right, any conclusion, any formula is the stake around which you revolve. Right? Are you following all this? And therefore you have very little space, haven't you? Can you remove all those stakes, all those posts, and with all the ropes? Then you have a lot of space, don't you? Can you do it?
So when I realized that I'm written with ideals and various images that surround me, I immediately, when I feel that I am being suffocated, I try and use another system. I try and go into this system.
But it's the same, another pose. So, changing the pose is not freedom, is not space.
So I come intellectually.
No. The intellectual is froth.
Yes, that's exactly the point. I come intellectually, I feel that I don't have any system which will help me to, get space. So what do I do?
What do you do? First, are you aware that you have these multiple posts, and when you get rid of one post, you substitute another post for it. And therefore there is this constant movement of substitution or change, exchange, in that there is no space. Are you aware of this? Do you know this? Do you know that you have an ideal, a belief, a conclusion, a hurt? You follow? Because I'm hurt, and that's my post around which I revolve. So, have you got any of these? Are you aware of these?
Even if you are aware, sir, very awareness leads you to despair.
No, but wait, sir. Are you aware? First see, not despair, first see the fact, what is. The fact is one has these posts, right? And therefore there is no space. And that may be one of the reasons why human beings, having no outward space and inward space, they are violent. I don't know.
Sir, sometimes you want to be tied to something.
Well, of course, then you are tied. If you want to be tied, then you are stuck. I'm tied to my wife because I like it. I like being possessed by somebody. I like being dominated by somebody. I like being a slave. And then you like it. Enjoy it. But you're going to one day wake up and say, my God, what's happening? The thing which I relied on is running away. And you're stuck, right? So, are you aware? No. Realize that you've got these many, many forms of anchors. And therefore no space. It's only a ship that has lifted its anchor, weighed its anchor, that can move.
So then, I should be aware, know what is to be aware. what it is to be aware.
I'm asking you, are you
No,
aware?
very fact, because sometimes I see it psychologically. I'm aware of these things verbally.
No,
Is
not
that
verbally. You
awareness?
can't be aware of them verbally. That's nonsense.
Exactly, sir. I mean,
That's nonsense. I can't be aware verbally of this house. It has no meaning. I am aware of this house when I enter it, when it's the, all the rest of it. Now wait a minute. Please be simple. Let's begin very, very simply. Am you aware that I am tied to tied, you follow, to various posts? Are you? Are you? Yes? And you? Are you aware of it? Huh? Yes?
A little bit.
Are you aware of it? Don't be shy. You? Are you? What do you do about it when you are aware, when you know that you are tied? I am tied to my wife or tied to my conclusion. You follow? I'm tied. I like it till it begins to hurt, then I want to break it, right? So I wait till it hurts, then I want to break it, right? But I don't see that the fact in itself that being tied hurts. I wait till I am hurt. You see the difference? Do you see the difference? Huh? Do you? I wait till I am hurt. Till my wife says, go to hell. I hope I don't. Then I am hurt. But I don't see that wherever there is a tie held, there is the seed of hurt. Right? Do you see that? Do you see that you are bound to be hurt if you are tied to a conclusion? If the conclusion is solid, that you won't move away from it. If you say, I'm an everlasting blasted Hindu, and then you're stuck, aren't you? Then you're going to be hurt. Right? Are you? Are you tied to anything and know that it is going to hurt? Because you are tied, not because it might happen and then get hurt. You're following what we are saying? So we have discovered what I'm... Now wait, listen quietly. Image, sensitivity, resistance, dependency, and being tied to a conclusion is one of the factors, and perhaps the major factor of getting hurt. You see this, right? Do you belong to any of this? If you do, and if you know you are that way, what do you do? What is the next step?
So, for example, if you're tied to your family, wherever you go, you'll come back to your family in the end. But you know it's not going to hurt.
Oh, doesn't it?
You know that your family won't hurt you at least.
Oh, doesn't it? Your family may not. But most families are hurt. They live on hurting other people. Now, I can't go into it. I know I am tied. As you say, you know you are tied, right? What is the next step?
One tries to prevent further time.
I am tied.
Oh. Then one loosens it.
Huh?
One tries to loosen it.
What do you do? I'm asking. Well, sir, it's your job to investigate.
You realize
Vivan? I realize that I am tied to a conclusion. Right? I am tied, the mind is tied to an image. Then what do I do next? What is the next action?
Anything you do, sir, be an act of will.
Huh?
Anything you do to take away from a conclusion will be an act of will.
What's wrong with the act of will? What is wrong with the act of will?
There is another image.
No, you haven't answered this. What's wrong?
You want to be free from a conclusion.
No, sir, just look. I'm asking you. I am tied to a conclusion. What is my next response? Huh? Wanting to get rid of it. Now stick to that. Wanting to get rid of it. Why?
Because you don't want to be hurt anymore.
Huh?
Because you don't want to be hurt again.
What?
Because you don't want to be hurt again.
Is that the reason you want to be free of that tie? Because you don't want to be hurt again? You said, sir, I am tied. My instant response on the recognition that I am tied, I say I must get rid of it, right? I must be free of it. Because it's going to hurt, right? Which is, at any price, I want to get rid of it, right? Right? Are you following this? Now, can I get rid of it? How do I get rid of it?
You must understand its nature.
You must understand it, not get rid of it. Right? Right, sir? If I understand something, I'm free of it. But to resist it and say, I must get rid of it, which is, as that gentleman pointed out, an act of will, then there is a resistance, isn't there? Then there is conflict, isn't there? And I'll get more hurt in it. Right? Right? So what am I to do? You tell me, don't do that, but understand why you want to get rid of it. Understand the response, the reaction says, I must get rid of it. You understand? Are you following all this? Understand why you want to get rid of it. Right? Why do you want to get rid of it?
Because of her.
Why do you want to get rid of it, sir? Look at it, look at it. Why do you want to get rid of it?
Because of my hurt.
No, I'm tired. No, don't bring in hurt. You will see it a minute. I'm tied, right? I'm tied to a conclusion, to a belief. I believe in God. Or I believe in what? My guru is the greatest guru. Beats your guru. He is more enlightened than yours. That's a good idea. My guru is better than yours. So, I'm tied to my guru. And you come along and tell me, look what's happening. In that, there is no freedom. There is no space. You point out all these things to me. And I say, but you're perfect, right? I must get rid of this. I must get rid of my guru. Because I'm fairly intelligent, listen to you, and I say, I must get rid of it. Now, why do I want to get rid of it?
I am tired, though it gives me some security, it brings also sorrow.
No, sir, you're not answering my question. Why do I want to get rid of it?
You think you'll get something better.
Which means what?
You're getting tired again.
Huh?
You're getting tired again.
Tied again. So I want to get rid of it in order to be tied somewhere else. Right? You understand? I want to get rid of it because I want freedom. So I'm tied to freedom, which is an idea of freedom. Not real freedom, but I have an image of what freedom is, and I'm tied to that. So, in trying to suppress, control, get rid of, is another form of being tied. Right? Do you see this? No? You're all puzzled. I couldn't recognize you with your moustache. Go on, sir. So I see that also, you see. In trying to get rid of something, in trying to suppress it or trying to control it, I'm already being tied by an idea that I should be free. Right? So I'm tied to that. So, through rejection, through suppression, through domination, it doesn't, I still am caught. So I won't try any of those ways. Right? You're following all this? No, you're not. You're tired. Right? So I won't try any other those ways. Suppression, control, rejection, saying I must find the cause and get, you follow all that. So what shall I do then? Go on, investigate it with me. So go on. You're used to books.
Reject all these things and you just do nothing.
Huh?
Reject all these things as useless. You just in a vacuum, you do nothing.
No, do you? Do you? Have you done it, sir? Or you just at hearing?
No, I've tried it and
Wait. Have you said no? I will not reject, because that's too stupid. I see the reason why I shouldn't. I will not suppress it, right? I will not escape from it. I won't act upon it at all. Have you done it?
I said you're in despair.
No, wait, but why are you in despair?
Because you can't do anything about it.
You don't know what to do. You say you can't do anything about it, but you don't know what to do. So let's find out. Don't bring in despair. Right? So what is the next thing?
So when you remove all this, you're confronted with it.
Then what are you confronted with? That's the whole point. Go on, push. Can I go on, sir? Don't wait.
The whole problems are as such that being tied, without I having any ideas about it, resistance.
Go on. So we've been through all that. We have been through all that. We have come to the point when we see that we are tied. And trying to be free from that tie is another form of getting tied in a different direction. That's clear. Then what happens?
Be in contact with it.
Huh?
Be in contact with it.
Be in contact, you just, do things a little more. What do I do?
Wait for spontaneity.
How can I wait for spontaneity?
Well, it just happens.
No, little more. Go into it a little more. You understand? I won't suppress it. I won't reject it. I won't in any way disperse it, escape from it. Therefore, what happens? Wait,
Misunderstand.
What?
Misunderstand.
No, to understand something, I must look. I can't just understand without looking. So I must look, right? Now, how do I look at the tie? At the thing to which the mind is tied. You follow? I am tied to what? To guru. Yes. I'm tied to a guru. My God, just think of that. What a horror. I'm tied to a guru. And I see why I'm tied. Because through the guru, I hope to achieve enlightenment, peace and happiness. And you come along and say, look what has happened to you, old boy. You live in a small room, there is no space outwardly, and inwardly you have no space, but you are tied. And you give me the reasons, logical reasons. And I say, by you, you're perfectly right. And then you also say, don't reject. Don't run away from it. Because you explain why again, if I ran away, I'm tied. So then you tell me, just look at the fact that you are tied. Without condemning it, justifying, just look that you are tied. You understand what I'm saying? Just look. And then you tell, and then I ask you, what do you mean? How do I look? What do you mean by that? Right? You followed the sequence of all this? Have you? I'm hurt. I'm hurt for these reasons, which I explained. And these reasons are the very cause of hurt. Right? Being tied, not waiting, but being tied at all is the beginning of hurt. And you point out all this. And you say, then we come to the point, without rejecting, without suppressing, don't run away from it, look at it, right? Now, we'll have to go into that. What do you mean by looking? Because I must look to understand something. I can't just say, you follow? I'll understand without looking. So I must first understand what it means to look. Doesn't it? You're following all this? What does it mean to look?
Your attention to it.
What? Now, don't invent my word. Don't catch my word. Just think out for yourself. What does it mean to look?
To explore the space beyond the end of the rooms.
No. What does it mean to look?
To direct.
My darling said, just look. Look at that tree. Look at any of the things around the room. What do you mean by looking?
To use the sense.
There's first visual look, isn't there? Your eye, light, and all the rest of it. Now you look, right? Does the eye see or the mind sees? Go slow. Do you understand what I mean? Do you see the thing, right? Or does the mind see it first and then the eyes? The mind looks at this and says, that is a microphone. Then the eye says, that's a microphone. I don't know if you have driven cars, have you? Any of you? Have you driven cars? Now, how do you look when you are driving a car? Don't you look far ahead? The mind looks much more than the eye. Haven't you noticed this? Oh Lord, what are you talking about? The mind is quicker than the eye. It says, look out for the danger, which the eye hasn't seen.
So you go out.
Now, wait, sir, I'm asking, looking first. How do you look? That's what we are. Of course, I have to go out. To look at that tree, I'm looking. Now, when you look, Do you see the tree visually first, or does the mind see the tree first?
You see it visually first, sir, because obviously if you close your eyes, you are not going to see the tree.
No, I'm asking, of course. Do listen, find out, sir. I may be wrong, but look at it, find out. Don't wait for your professor to tell you all the blasted things. Look. Do you see the tree first with the eyes? Of course you. Or the mind is quicker in seeing the tree.
It seems that something is before the eye.
No, you're not being simple enough.
So when I look at this, first I interpret it as tree, then only I look at the branches, the leaves,
Which means what?
So the mind looks at it first, and then...
Do you do that? So is that seeing? When the mind sees first and then the eye sees it afterwards? So can you see without the image of the mind? You see now what we're leading up to? You understand?
But when you see something, you immediately identify it as...
Of course, which is this, the identification is the quickness of the mind, right? I look at it and say that's a tree. The mind has seen it much more than the eye.
But it can't be helped. It's a tree.
Of course it's a tree. I know it. You don't have to tell me. But I'm asking you, which is the eye as quick as the mind?
But isn't the eye directed by the mind?
What?
Isn't the eye directed by the mind itself?
Yes, sir. So what? You don't. You know, when you are driving a car, when you watch with your eyes what is near, then you are bound to have accidents. Anybody who drives will tell you, if you are only watching, just beyond the fender, you're bound to have accident. But if you are watching in the distance and taking the side, you follow? Then you're moving safely. But if you're keeping your eyes only on the side, then you're bound because you're not looking. Right? In the same way, when you're looking, if your eye is merely looking, you follow what I mean? It only sees the tree, but it doesn't see much more. So, how do you look at this question that you're tied? You're not escaping, you're not running away. You're not running away, you're not suppressing it, you're not justifying it, condemning it, all the rest of it. You're looking. And then one asks, what do you mean by looking? Do you look at this? I am tied to my guru. Do I look at it without a conclusion that the guru is necessary? Or do I just look at the fact that I am tied? I don't know if you follow this. Huh? You don't follow it? You don't see it? My Lord. I am tied, not a guru, that's too cheap. I am tied to a belief, to an ideal that's going to solve all the problems of the world, right? I'm fairly intelligent, I'm fairly read books and so on, all the rest of it, and I've come to a conclusion that this particular system, communism or X system, is going to solve the problems of the world. I'm tied to it, committed to it. Being committed means have very little space, right? Right, you agree? You see the point of that? Being tied to anything, there's no space. And I see there must be space. Because otherwise there is no freedom. Otherwise they will get irritated, violent, stupid. So I see that. Now next thing is, now how am I to be free of it? Right? Be free of the conclusions which I have of a system that's going to solve all the problems of the world. Right? Now how do I look at that conclusion which I have? Do I say, well, I must go beyond it, I must suppress it, I must reject it, or do I just look at it?
Sir, if I look at it without verbalizing, putting space, sir.
No, sir, don't jump to anything. You're going step by step to find out. How do I look at it? What's the time, sir?
10:30.
Huh? 10:30. When did we begin?
9:30.
I'm going to stop at 11:15. Sorry. Now, how do I look so as to understand the thing? You understand? You understood my question? How do I look at the conclusion which I have that this particular system is going to solve all the problems of the world? I'm tied to that. How do I understand my being committed and therefore very small space? How do I look at it? Do I look at it with an image that I must be free of it, or do I merely look at it without any image? Because if I have an image that I'm tied to that. So I must look at it without any image, any conclusion, that I must be free, that I must resist. Therefore, do I look at it with fresh, clear mind, which is not committed to anything. Then only I can look, and then I can study it, understand it. Right? Now, look at that way your particular post to which you are tied. That means first become aware that you are tied. Then watch whether you are suppressing, running away from all the rest of it, and then see that if you can look at to the thing you are tied to without any conclusion, right? Which means what? Whether you can look at it without any movement of thought. Because it's thought that is creating the images. I must be free, I must not be free, it's good to be free. So can you look to that which you are tied with eyes that have forgotten totally the movement of thought? You got what I'm talking about? Do it. Then when you see it that way, there is no problem. It's out. Finished. You understand? Without struggle, without pain, without saying I must be detached, all that silly stuff goes.
If one is not attached to something, there is no continuity in action. If there is no continuity in action, life is senseless.
Yes, right. You say unless you are tied, unless you are committed, there is no continuity in action. Right? That's what he says. Let's find out the truth of that. You're going to investigate. You're not going to listen to me. Unravel it. He says, unless you are committed, there is no continuity of action. right? Now, is that action? Action which has continuity, a constant movement in the same direction. And is that action?
So the chain.
No, watch it, sir. I don't know, find out. He said, unless you move in a certain committed direction, there is no continuity of action. It is so. If I want to go to Pondicherry or Rishi Valley, I have to go. You follow? Keep on going. That is, having set a goal and I go there, right? It appears that action, unless committed, has no continuity. Therefore, an action without continuity, what does it mean? Right?
If you want to build a house, you must be tied to that idea of building a house. Otherwise, you will build one floor. And
of course. How do you answer that? Go on, answer him.
But it's only with a pre-formulated thought or an idea to build something that one wants a continuity. Right?
Go on, sir, answer him. You find it out. It's very simple for me. To build a house, to go to Madras station, there must be a continuous directive action leading me to that, to the station, right? That's purely a mechanical process, isn't it? Right? To build a house, I go to the architect. If he's a good architect, I hope. Then he makes a plan of the house, and I have money enough, so we continue with that till it's finished. Again, it's a mechanical action, right? It's a mechanical action. No? No? You seem rather doubtful. I hire you as the architect. You give me a plan. I have the money. And I say, go ahead. And you go ahead.
Now you're giving the job to somebody else.
No, even if I'm
you build the house.
Even if I build the house, I design. I've studied enough houses, and I know I've gone into the stresses and strain of the house. It's the same thing, whether I give it to you or give it to myself. I have drawn a plan, and I continue along that plan, right?
But the work may vary.
I vary it. Workman may strike. Huh?
The work may vary you.
What are you?
The work may vary you. Yes, I put up with it. But that is not the point. There's been a continuous action until I finish the house. I may worry, I say, by Jove, this beam doesn't fit right. That's part, that's all. But the action is continuous.
But if you worry, you are tired again.
No, please, sir, you haven't understood his question. You don't listen to his question, which was, if all action, he says, must be continuous, otherwise it brings disorder. Right? Of course, you see, if I want to build a house, I build a house, a continuous action. If I want to go to Madras station, there's a continuous action. Or if I say, well, this is the marvelous plan, the system to save all mankind, and I thoroughly believe in it, I'm tied to it, committed to it up to my eyes, then I pursue it. And this we call a continuous action. And I say to myself, that is so. I must, if I want to go to a Madras station, I must go and continue. But is that the entire limits of action? No, sir, go on. That is, this action that he has proposed, he sees the logic of it. A communist plan, a socialist plan, a capitalist plan, you follow? Lay it down and pursue it. If somebody interferes, change, modify, but it's all in the same direction, right? And I say that's a very narrow sense of action. And I also see that's necessary, right? Going to Madras station is necessary. I see it is necessary in one direction, but also I see that a continuous action, in that there is no freedom. I am committed already to that plan and I'm finished. I'm stuck with my post and the radius of this rope. So I say, is there action which is non-mechanical? That is mechanical. You're following all this? Going to Madras, building a house, having a system, political, religious, or economic, is a matter of mechanical action. Having that, do that. That's simple, isn't it?
Excuse me, sir.
Huh?
You do not make a distinction between having technological plans and plans for incorporating, changing society or bringing a new system, new civil culture.
It is the same.
In the same part because one involves human beings who are.
Sir, we are discussing continuous action, not human beings. I have a plan or a system that's going to save mankind.
Can we have it, sir?
Anyway, that's not the point. We do have it, sir. The communists have full of these plans. The theoreticians with their communistic direction, they're marvelous in laying down the plans. They're not concerned with human beings. The plan matters. Because that's eventually going to give mankind happiness. I mean that. You don't matter, your children were, but your grandchildren are going to get the benefits of this plan. So we liquidate you, we send you off to Siberia or to Madarpalli. Huh?
Couldn't we be more simple and stick to more usual things like being tied to a program of studies or tied
Yes,
to a program of...
Sir, it is exactly the same thing. A series of mechanical actions. Modified, change a little bit here and there, but it's a continuous movement in the same direction till you pass BA, take your degree, till you become... Cut that out. It's simple. Now, the little more complex is there an action which is not mechanical, which has its own continuity, but not the continuity of mechanical movement? You follow? Is there such action? I know the mechanical action, right? I want to go to Madarpalli, I get in the bus, train, car, whatever it is, and I go. And I have a plan to save mankind, and I follow that. And that's fairly simple, I see that. But I'm asking myself, is there an action which is never mechanical? And yet, action.
It would be an action which would be liberated from the past.
I don't know, I'm just asking.
But, I mean, there are two types of action.
That's what I'm pointing out, sir.
And one doesn't mean you have to suppress the other.
I don't. I'm going to receive value tomorrow morning. And I've got to go along a certain route, and I jolly well arrived at a certain time. That's purely mechanical action. I may stop, to watch the monkeys or do some other things. But it's still in the same direction. And I call all that such activity mechanical. Whether it is a socialistic, you follow the communist or it is still along a plane which is directional and therefore mechanical. And in that there is you get the system, you think you now understand the system, it's the best system, and you get hold of it, and you destroy the others. This, what's happening in Russia and elsewhere. So let's leave on that. The other thing is there an action which is non-mechanical, which has a movement, not continuity, which has a movement. Okay, this requires. Isn't it time? I better stop.
Maybe some kind of momentary, spontaneous action, which just sort of, arises by itself.
Is there spontaneity? To understand whether there is spontaneity, one must be free from all past influence. Otherwise, you can't be spontaneous. I mean, that's another word we use very easily, spontaneity. To be really spontaneous, you must be, you must put away all the old clothes. To think it out, it's really quite interesting question. Whether there is mechanical action, as simple and very clear. Modified, can be changed, altered. I can take longer or shorter to reach my goal. That's simple and very clear. If I have a system which is going to solve all the mankind's miseries, I realize that and I carry it out. Again, mechanical, altering bits here, suppressing 12 million people or 5 million people or 10, but it's in the same direction. Now, I'm asking if there is any other kind of action which is never mechanical, but action. Action. You follow?
This mechanical action, it implies time. It always takes place in time, doesn't it?
Going to mechanical action always takes time, obviously. Going from here to there is time.
So maybe it's opposite exists.
And no, don't. It's not the opposite. It's something else entirely. The opposite, sir, when you have the opposite has the seed of its own opposite. No? I am angry. The opposite is not to be angry. Right? To achieve non-anger is the outcome of anger.
So it's not action then?
No, I'm asking, this requires really, I wish I had time, we can go into this, but not now, it's too late. You find out, sir, if there is any action which is non-mechanical, and therefore action from moment to moment.
Impulsive.
Huh?
Impulsive.
Huh?
Impulsive.
Impulse. Oh, for heaven's sake, no. No. See, if there is a continuous action, there is no freshness in it. There is no newness in that. It's only when action ends, begins. There's a freshness, newness. Right? If there is something new, I must forget the old. So action, ending each minute, each second, and beginning, ending. You follow? That's non-mechanical. Let's stop. Isn't that love? If action, which is continuous, which is mechanical, modified, is that love? Is love mechanical? She's my wife, and that settles it. Don't touch. In that relationship, it's mechanical. I possess her legally, and she possesses me legally, and we are tied. I can't look at anybody, and she can't look at anybody. If she does, I'm jealous, hateful. You follow? But the direction is the same, mechanical. And I call that love. Right? So love is something entirely different, not the opposite of this, something entirely different, which is, it must be fresh the next day, otherwise it's a dead thing.
Isn't love spontaneous?
Huh?
Isn't love spontaneous?
We've said that, sir. Is love spontaneous? If it is to have spontaneity, one has to understand the whole question of time, thought, the past.